An incredible good morning to one and all. I, Shashankan, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, heartily welcome you all for the AICTE Development Dialogue on the role of youth for Viksit Bharath at 2047, which is organized as a part of the 75th anniversary of Indian independence movement, wherein which we become independent from the clutches of British Empire on 15th August 1947. A small cheer and a great welcome makes a merry fast. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome the chief guest of today's function, Dr. Muthukumar, President and COO, Indian leader, Cummins Meritor HVS India Limited, Mysuru, Automotive Axles Ltd. On behalf of Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, I heartily welcome you, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome our beloved Principal Dr. B. Sadashivegowda, Principal VVCE Mysuru. A wholehearted welcome to you, sir. Also, I welcome all the students from various branches. Welcome you all. I now request our beloved Principal to give an introductory remarks.
Good morning to all of you. Today's chief guest, Dr. Muthukumar N, President and Executive Director, Meritor HVS Limited. My colleagues, my dear students, all of us have gathered here to take our country to a developed nation by 2047. You know, our Honorable Prime Minister, Modi ji, has clearly stated that through Viksit Bharath at 2047, a vision to transform India into a developed nation. And in that, youth play a vital role. Because by 2047, you will be significantly contributing to the growth of India. It could be as a great human being. It could be the beacon of changing the technological landscape of India. It could be the sustainability. It could be the social progress, economic progress. All of these are very important for the growth of our country. So I believe that this initiative by the Government of India, AICTE, and Ministry of Education will create awareness about the importance of youth and how you can contribute significantly for the growth of our country. So I'm extremely happy to be part of this initiative, and we are very fortunate to have Dr. N. Muthukumar, who has been a pillar of support to our institute. He is also the board member of Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, and he has been guiding our institute year on year. Almost in every meeting, he gives hundreds of suggestions to take our institute to the next level. I believe we are going to have an inspiring session today, and that will kindle you to contribute significantly for the growth of our country. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thanks a lot, sir, for the introductory remarks. Now it's time to introduce our today's chief guest, Dr. N. Muthukumar. Dr. N. Muthukumar, President and COO, India leader, Cummins Meritor, driving the technology transition, business development, and future strategy for the organization towards achieving the business results. Dr. N. Muthukumar pursued his doctoral degree in operations management from Annamalai University in the year 2014. He did his Master of Business Administration in International Marketing in the year 1992, MSc in Applied Sciences from the College of Engineering, Gundi, Anna University, Chennai in the year 1987, and was also a gold medalist in his post-graduation studies. His research work is published in Emerald Bookstore. Prior to joining Meritor, he was the President and whole-time Director at Automotive Axles Ltd, heading the India operations for about 11 years. In his capacity, he is the driving force to implement, sustain and improve world-class performance elements, and also he was associated closely with the capacity enhancement and transformation of AAL manufacturing into Industry 4.0. Dr. Muthukumar has rich experience of more than 34 years in the automobile and pharmaceutical sector. He commenced his career with TVS Sri Chakra Tires as management trainee in the year 1987 and become head of manufacturing systems in the same organization within 7 years. In 1998, he added the business process re-engineering in TVS Group and post successful completion become head operations for Sundaram Industries Limited. He then moved to the TTK Group running their international business for about 6 years before joining Automotive Axles Ltd. He was instrumental in making all the Indian operations at TTK LIG TPM certified by JIPM TPM in a span of 3 years. Based on his achievement, he was made to lead Global Continuous Improvement for SSL International United Kingdom along with India operations. Dr. Muthukumar has travelled widely into various countries for business tie-ups and technology transfer and continuous improvement facilitation. He is also a certified lead assessor for the quality system and also a research faculty for JIPM TPM for CII and assessor for JIPM TPM Health Check in India. He is also working as a governing council member for Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, JSS Mysuru, and also board of SDM IMD Mysuru, and presently he is also the president of Employee Federation of South India. Sir, we are very much fortunate enough to have you as the resource person for today's session. Now I request you to take over.
Thank you very much. I think good recollection back of last 35 years of experience to get back where I was. Thanks for the nice introduction. Happy morning to every one of you. Good? Very nice. When the campus would have told you that you're going to listen to somebody for 1.5 hours, maybe you would have thought that, okay, there's going to be a PowerPoint presentation. 1.5 hours, how do we sit? Even with the professor whom you like, talking to them or sitting in his class for 55 minutes, I know how difficult it is, right? After 20 minutes, you lose your interest. But what's there for talking about 55 minutes? Is it possible? I also, when professor told me that, hey, Muthu, I had to talk to them for about 1.5 hours, including question and answer sessions, I said, hey, talking to them 1.5 hours, let me see how we can schedule it. So I do not know. I don't have anything with me. What is running here is a timer for me to stop where I need to stop. So I need 2 volunteers from you. Okay, I'm going to tell that what are the things that I'm going to talk. If I don't cover at the right point of time, please stop me. I think that's the one volunteer need. I'm very, very poor in time management. So that is one. Second is I'm going to ask you now, the second volunteer is going to ask you, what is your expectation from this program? Okay, so that you are my customer today for the next 1.5 hours, and I want to make sure that reasonably I meet your expectation. I don't know whether I'll be able to meet your expectations in full, but at least let me try to tell you. But believe me, talking about India, talking about the legacy of India, and talking about how India is going to be for the future, why 1.5 hours? We can talk for 1.5 days. It's one of the great country to live in, and this is one of the best country that you guys are going to stay here. I wish every one of you stay back in this country, even after your postgraduate studies. Contribute for this country, which will definitely make you better in terms of your lifestyle, better in terms of your comfort than whatever you get from other countries. Okay, with that introduction, 2 of the volunteers. Thank you. Your name? Good round of applause for the first guy who came up consciously. Second one, diversity. One more girl. Very, very important. Oh, this is the biggest problem in India, right? 52% of Indian population or 48% of Indian population is women, right? But only 3% of the people are working. It is going to go to 30% in the days of 2030 is what the government is talking about. 0.3% is the CEOs of women in India. Why? You don't come back. While you know everything that you can do, you're not coming back. Who is going to come back? Quick. Thank you very much. Come. So, I've already lost 2 minutes, okay? Next 5 minutes, can you just give me what is your expectation from this program? You all know that India at 100, okay? So can you just quickly tell me? Please take a notes of it. Please. What's your expectation? What do you want to know about it? Okay, super. Very good. Interesting question. I'll definitely make sure that I answer that.
How should we position ourselves as engineers to contribute the most?
Great. All of you are engineers? You're proud of being an engineer? Yes, no? Yes. Let it come here, because that is one of the biggest things that why you guys have joined here, right? What else? If those are the three expectations, my life is easier, okay? Don't worry, it'll get covered. Anything else? How can you become an entrepreneur and contribute to the nation? You have to. Excellent. What else? Absolutely. I think the government is putting this program because government has created a policy of India Vision at 2047, which was released in 2023 by the Prime Minister through Niti Aayog, to make sure that how India is going to become a superpower of 30 trillion economy. Currently, we are about 3.8 trillion economy. How we are going to become a 30 trillion economy by the day. So I'm going to give you some facts to give a confidence to you that how it is going to be practically possible to achieve it. Okay? Super. Anything else? Okay. Having said that, thank you very much. I'm going to divide this 1.5 hours talk for about 45 to 50 minutes. 12.5 minutes about how India, or at least about 10 minutes about how was India 200 years before or 300 years before. And somebody said after 75 years, India has come out from the clutches of British, right? And how did we get through in 1947? And between 1947 to 1991, which is very, very important field in the India, how India has come out from the clutches of things. A lot of people died in the year 1950, 55 because food was not available. India was in such a bad situation. The wealth was taken. We lost a lot of people because of the shortage of food grains during that year. India went to a war with China in 1960. India went to the war with Pakistan, and couple of years here and there will be there. Don't look at exactly 65, 67. I think India went for the first war with Pakistan, 71, the second war with Pakistan. And after that, India internally had a problem of emergency came in India. So again, there was destabilization. Most of you may not be there. Most of you will be 2000 plus, right? Millennials or alpha millennials, right? That's the new generation people are calling, right? The new guys. Okay, millennials after 2000. So India went through a very bad situation between 1974 to 1980 when India emergency was issued in India. We don't know what was democracy at that point of time. Then from 1980s, India started industrial revolution. At least I would say that in India, what is multinationals has come in. Maruti has started coming in. 1991, India became global. So we'll talk about this first and then get into what is going to be India at 100. I don't know how many of you know, way back in 1700s or 1800s, before the Britishers or other who invaded India, India was contributing 33% to the global economy. India and China are the two countries which were contributing more than about 60% between both of us. Okay, like today somebody was saying why we should not go out of the countries. What you are saying that US is a 30 trillion economy. How US was today, India was there way back in 1700s, 1800s. From such a glorious position, how it has come, I think you should spend days and years to read this. It is because of the rich heritage the country had. It is because of the rich value system the country had. The country had many things at that point of time. Temples created. The wealth was for the country was kept in the things. You know the Maharajas of in Karnataka, Vijayanagar Empire, or in Chola empires, they created lot not only for creating wealth, but also to make sure that how agriculture can be improved. Many tanks have been created. Whatever we are talking about, oh, we need to create water sources across India to become sustainability, these things were done in the year 1000. Chola king ruled in the area 1000 years before, and they were all creating this, creating the wealth for people, not in terms of money directly, but in terms of creating the wealth. The first naval base was created by Chola kings, and they went all the way from here to Indonesia, Philippines, and then I think everywhere we conquered during that time. Even though they will normally say India has never ruled a country. Just for information, yes, India went to Sri Lanka and conquered during Chola's period. India went to so many other places, but we never ruled that country. After conquering that company, we gave the locals a Maharaja there and made sure that they managed that country, and Indians came back. I think that is how Chola kings or others have done it. That what talks about the value systems of India. So India has always been a great country to live with. You all know about, in your history, you would have studied what happened to India in between 1857 to when Britishers came, and 1947 we came out. I'm not going to talk about it because that is the only history that's available in our history books, not before that, right? When the invasion of by Mughals and after that by Britishers, these were there in the books. Nothing before that was there. So I'm not going to talk about that during 1947. But when 1947, when the country went out, the great leaders like whether Mahatma Gandhi or Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, these people, and Ambedkar, they created a constitution for the country to make sure that they have a very clear vision to make this country as the best place to live in. Not one of the best country. It is not valued in terms of money or not valued in terms of size and population, but they felt that this should be the best place to live in. I think that is if you see our constitution, the constitution doesn't go and wanted to punish anybody who makes a mistake. It gives the last chance for the person to prove that he is innocent. A good person should not be punished. I think that's our fundamentals of constitution, rather than somebody to be punished for their mistakes. Okay, you give an opportunity to this. So great people like that were created, but unfortunately what happened is our wealth has completely gone. We didn't have money even to create small benefits for the public. That is why I think as a country we struggle. We didn't have toilets in majority of the people's home. Government could not feed people because we didn't have money during the time. We also have a threat from the people who went out from us. Pakistan, a lot of issues were there. The Britishers have taken most of the wealth, so we didn't have it. But India became stronger, or India was considered as the best country because of our value systems and the culture that we had. That is why most of the countries after independence also supported us, India. I think we should thank all the people who have supported us from 1947 to 1991 when India was not open. So 47 to 91, India struggled to feed people. Jawaharlal Nehru created public sector enterprises. We created our own ISRO. We created our own NAL. We created our own HAL. So many things have been created. We created our own aims, but we could not scale it up because we didn't have money. We have a vision. We have an aspiration. We could do it in a little here and there. We had only 8 IITs that we could create at that point of time because we want to be pioneers in engineering, pioneers in medical. Everything has been done. But the country could not progress. But every other country like this, when the country has grown, we had people, not everyone is good in the society. There are a lot of people who have swindled the money. Corruption was at the peak because you didn't have a digitalization, you didn't have a connect. The communication system was very bad. Traveling from here to Delhi takes about 5 days to 6 days because the infrastructure was not good. But there are a lot of good things that Britishers have done. Britishers have given a good English back to our people. They created a good railway infrastructure for that. So some part of the infrastructure was good when compared to other countries, but majority was not there. It used to take hours for people to move from one. So the productivity could not go. For moving the coal from Jharkhand to one of the thermal plant here, it used to take about 10 to 12 days for you to bring in. That is the amount of difficulty India had. So our growth was very, very minimal, could not grow faster. In between, India faced a war, like what I said, with China in 1960, early 60s, late 60s with Pakistan, first Pakistan war, second Pakistan war. But because of the passion of the people, because of our people, even though we didn't have a technology, our people could win and convert every threat into an opportunity for us. I think that's one of the biggest things that our army has done for us, which gave confidence to the people. In 1980, after the India went through a emergency. Most of you may not know what is emergency. Emergency is there was only a ruling party available in India and everybody of the opposition was put behind the bars. Okay? If you want to publish anything in the newspaper, the news from the paper like Hindu or anything or Indian Express, it has to go to the government. The government will censor it, and only when they approve it will come. So many of the newspaper letters in way back in 74, 75, I was a class 5, 6 students. I could see in some of the newspapers it will be blank. News is not cleared by the government, so it will be empty at many point of time. That is how it has went. First time from the Congress, the opposition party came, but they could not stay together as usual. And then again, Indira Gandhi came back to the power, and see, that period was considered as a golden period for India in 1980. She came and did a lot of reforms. I think, while they were good and bad with everybody, the nationalization of transport corporations, what they've been done, the nationalization of banks, thereby distributing the loans to the poor people or the needy people, are some of the best projects or best programs that have been cleared during 70s to 80s. In 80, the first foreign company that came to India for manufacturing is Suzuki. What you are seeing as a Maruti today started in 1982. TVS formed a two-wheeler company with Suzuki, the name of TVS Suzuki, in I think 1980s. Bajaj was the only two-wheeler company before that. Ambassador was only the car that was available. We used to say that you can have any color as long as it's black, because only black cars used to be there. No other color. You cannot get a different color car. The motorcycle, if you want to buy, the Bajaj scooter, you have to wait for 9 months to 10 months after booking. Okay, even today, some of the cars, you are waiting like this. But in those days, if you want a telephone for you, you have to wait for minimum 15 months to get a telephone, and you are not be sure that you will get it. The telephones, you have to pay some OIT, that is own your telephone in those days. You need to pay 8,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees to the government deposit, and you have to wait for 8 to 9 months to get a telephone. Forget about mobiles today. It's very, very cheap at those days. For 3 minutes, it's 1 rupee. And if you want to talk to somebody from outside India, outside Mysore, when you pick up the phone, or even within Mysore, in those days, first phone, you have to pick up the phone, some telephone operator will pick up the phone, and you have to tell him that I want to talk to this person, then he will connect you to that person. Okay? You cannot dial the number. Outside Mysore, if you want to put, they call as a telephone exchange. We have to call them and tell them that I want to call somebody in Chennai. And they will say, okay, I will connect you with them. After half an hour, the call will come, then you can talk. This is how the communication system was there, and television was introduced in India in 1987. This is how it came. That is the time that India took a couple of decisions that we will, the telecommunications is very, very important for India. So they have introduced electronic exchanges and telephones, communication system, television was brought, and the automobile revolutions have started with Maruti coming in. Maruti was a Japanese company, and it's a joint venture between government and Suzuki. They called the name Maruti Udyog Limited or something. That is how the India started transforming. But again, India had a problem, and the Prime Minister then, Rajiv Gandhi, was killed in 1991, and Narasimha Rao became the Prime Minister in 1991, who has been awarded with Bharat Ratna a couple of weeks before. He was a finance minister, he was external affairs minister, and he started opening India for the globalization in 1991. Before that, investment has to be approved by the government, and foreign investment was not allowed in India. The economy was a controlled economy. Then in 91, we were open for global. I joined the work in 1987. We're all protected salary. Once you join a company, you can rest assured that up to 58 years, no fire or something, you can be enjoying. In 1991, when the globalization started, then only people realized how bad our quality is. What's happening? We used to export from India, and 50% of the consignment will get rejected in US because the quality is not up to the mark. We didn't have consistency in the products. So, the top 100 companies in India in 1991, today there are only 4 companies available. Rest of the 96 companies have closed. Those companies which were not willing to change. Maybe when you go back, go and ask your grandparents about a refrigerator from a company called Alvin, which was very, very famous in those days. I'm sure that the young generation may not even know about the name, but if you go and ask them, they'll tell you, yes, we had one. There is a television company called Solidaire, which is not there. Many, many products, which was like this. I think Rajdoot is a bike, which was making SD. Many, many manufacturers who doesn't want to change, who doesn't want to take and adapt innovation, who doesn't want to become globalization, they all removed, and the new players have come. The people who are willing to change, the people who are willing to adapt, those are the companies that have come up after the globalization. So 91 to 2001, we saw a lot of Indian companies going down and a lot of global companies started coming in. Still, we could not see that our growth was not there. We were just about 1.5 trillion economy. Okay. Then I think during the Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, they said infrastructure is not good in this country and we need to create a good infrastructure. So the golden quadrilateral, the roads, whatever you are seeing like Mysore, Bangalore road, it all started in the year 2000 to accelerate the economic growth of the country. And after that, if you see, India started getting into 6 to 7% of the GDP growth that started coming into the country. And one thing that you believe me, these type of policy changes that is taken by government, nobody can change it. Okay, because once people started enjoying the benefits, anybody who comes to government, the space can be reduced, but somebody has to keep running. So the growth started. And that's again turning point for India. Why I'm telling this, Dr. Abdul Kalam became the president of the country. My first 12 to 15 years, I used to go to US for selling. I used to go to US for technology products. Like you guys, I always feel, hey, why can't we come to this country and live here? This is one of the best places to live in. Okay, so how clean roads, the best of the transportation systems, everything used to be good. So always you feel like anything that you see beautiful, like how you guys are seeing in young age, everything was good. But then he's a guy came and started talking to the people about what India can do for the world and don't look at what you guys can go out. Okay. The first and foremost, he told us, India has more than 50% of the people less than 25 years, so the future is in India's hand. So the demographic dividend is what Abdul Kalam gave. Rather than telling that India has a huge population, India is not a clean country, please start looking at what India has. I think he's the first person, a leader, who came and started telling how to convert your threat into an opportunity for you. He's a great person. He was a scientist. I'm sure that you would have read many things about him, Vikram Sarabhai and all. They didn't have anything, just 250 rupees, 500 rupees, they created rackets and with a very, very low cost. I think the same culture is coming today. That's why we are saying that we have sent a racket to the moon at a cost of an auto rickshaw, right? I think that's what people used to say. The innovation culture or low cost or jugaad technology, whatever you call, if you wanted to criticize somebody, I think this all came because of them and they know the value of money and they started conserving the cash. Even if the money is available, they will not spend. That's the Indian culture. Conserve the cash and start doing innovation for this. And that is after that, then he said, let's give people, India is getting GDP in 3 ranges. One is our service sector. The IT, when after 91, when globalization has started coming in, India just picked up the advantage. The service sector, which was contributing about less than 10% before 91, Infosys started, you guys know what happened. Today's India's in GDP contribution, 50% is from this. We used our brains. We had only 10 colleges, engineering colleges, even in Karnataka in 85. I'm sure the principal knows. Manipal started, many colleges have come. Today we are able to produce 500,000 engineers every year because of the need for engineers for this. So the IT giants have come. Today, 80% of the people go to ITs and 20% goes to the core company. That's how it is. But that's where we found that our capability is there. As a cost efficiency, at the same time effectiveness, India could be able to make an inroad. So India started progressing on inroads into the software or service sector on one end. The other end, manufacturing has come. Manufacturing has always been about 20% of the GDP, not growing. Automations have come. But then India found that our population is growing. So it is very, very important that we keep agriculture as a base and started, I think Dr. Kalam during his time, he said, we have to give people a good drinking water and also make sure that India conserves water for the agriculture and start having a better yield than what we have today. You all know that Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who has been given Bharat Ratna now, he was an architect for agricultural revolution in India. In 2005, his reports made India. Today, India is producing not to the level of Israel, but strong progress have made in terms of our the agricultural produce that we are doing. For the amount of per hectare or per acre what we are getting, India's productivity is going up and up, and we are very, very confident that we have now surplus, food surplus in industry. That's how the changes have come. Every leader, when they come and introduce in one area, the changes have come. Whether it is of agriculture, whether it is in terms of service sector. Sam Pitroda is a person who is currently in US. He's the guy who brought in digitalization in the telephone communication industries. So everybody has brought in at various point of time these leaders. That is one of the great things that India had. India had a great leaders at various point of time. You may not work or you may not understand their ideology, but everybody was passionate about the country and nobody did against the country, and they started contributing for whichever the party they were in, whichever the office they were in, but they started contributing for this country and country started progressing. There are many countries which has got similar time independence to us, they have not grown. But we always compare ourselves with China, which has grown. China and us, both of us have the same GDP in 91. Between 91 and now, what China has grown and where we are is, we are a 3 trillion economy, they are about 15 trillion economy. They've grown like this, but it's not a sustainable growth, because once you don't have democratic, once you don't have an inclusive growth, the growth will be there, but at any point then the bubble will burst. But a sustainable growth is always good for the long term of the country, and that's what India is now facing. So between 2001 to 2011, these type of changes is happening. And between 2011 is what India has started putting a vision for a long-term growth. We never thought that India at 60, India at 75, India at 100 was going to be there. You all know that currently we are at 3 trillion economy. On an average, our CAGR is about 4 to 5%. The new government said, from 2014, I think 2023, they launched this India at 100, Viksit Bharath, where they say, hey, India has to be minimum 26 to 30 trillion economy by 2030. Okay, so we will talk about that now for the next 30 minutes on where the opportunities. We already completed 24 minutes, so another 30 minutes we will talk about what is the opportunities available. I just gave this background for you, all of you, to understand, because you have to understand your roots. You have to understand how difficult. You may easily criticize your parents for not putting you in the best of the college. You can even criticize your grandparent for not creating the best of the house, or great grandparent for that. But most of them were working for survival and not for the growth. And today India has come to the situation that yes, we are able to survive. We are independent. We have our own defense. We are able to manage. Now we are talking about a leapfrog, just exponential growth from now. How do we make it? That is why after 75 years we have become 3 trillion economy or 3.7 trillion economy. We are talking about next 25 years we are going to become a 30 trillion economy. How this is possible? Yes, it is possible. Because we have already created a good base. We have already created a good infrastructure, or we are creating an infrastructure. So India is going to be a superpower. I just want to tell you one thing. In 2004 there was a National Congress, not the party Congress, National Congress for Science and Quality. Okay, Science and Technology, addressed by Dr. Kalam when he became the president, and said what is India's vision in 2020. So he said at that point in time, India should become superpower in 2020. It was a newspaper heading. But you know, we don't have this much of social media then, but a lot of trolls and a lot of cartoons in the paper. Will India become superpower? What is it Dr. Kalam is talking about? India is a dirty country. We have so many people, so much of poverty and all. He looked at this, and then again after a week's time he again addressed media and said that there are many people who are criticizing this is possible, but I am telling that it is possible. And he listed out the country's advantage, like a demographic dividend, what we have. I don't know how many of you know, by 2041 India will become 52% of the youth that is going to work, like US, okay, which is one of the going to be highest in the world. Okay, so the next 25 years is going to be an amazing in terms of the resources we have. Resources in terms of people resources, our thinking capability and all. So I still remember in 2007, after 3 years, when Kalam, I think 8 or 9, he moved out and became the president, the same newspapers, the same people criticized. Everybody said, oh, it's not a question of will India become superpower. It's one of the famous statements at the time. Sorry, whether India will become superpower by 2020. But now we are confident that India will become superpower. It's not the question of whether India will become, when India will become. The change in mindset has come from whether India will become superpower to when India will become superpower was created by Dr. Kalam. I think till the last day, he is the one who always went to the students, always went to the youth, and he didn't focus on anybody else. He didn't focus on scientists. He didn't focus on senior citizens or something. But he said, India is going to be in these people's hands, and I wanted to focus with them. And this is how we started. And now we are saying in 2020, India has moved from 14th largest economy, not in 2020, but we are the 5th largest economy. We were at 14th economy by 2007. And today we are at 5th largest economy, and we are very clearly saying by 27-28 we'll become the 3rd largest economy after the US and China. It's like again a game. Sir, becoming a largest economy, is it good for the country or not good for the country? What do you think? Becoming a largest economy is good for us or not good for us? Good for us. Why do you say it's good for you? When we become a largest economy, we have a lot of customers available, sales will happen. If the sales is going to, country is going to happen, we are all going to grow. But in 2019, 2020, when Niti Aayog did one more thing, it's not important that we need to grow only GDP. We don't need to fight with China, we don't need to fight with the US, but the per capita income of people also should go up. Okay. If the country grows, what do we expect from that? Every individual also has to, yes or no? You can't have your salary same when the country is going to be 30 trillion economy. You will ask me the question, right? Sir, country has become from 3 trillion economy to 30 trillion economy, but I am getting only the same 4.5 lakhs is being offered by the companies for the last 10 years. Not good. So the per capita income has to go. So when the per capita income has to go, what is it we need to do? You have to be productive. Okay? Not doing the same job what we have been doing for last 10 years or 15 years. Okay? Imagine if you are moving a construction materials, okay, from one block to another block, moving the bricks, cement, and you are productive. You are moving 1 ton in one shift and you are paying 100 rupees to them. If you continue to do the same job, what will happen? You will get the same 100 rupees. Imagine if you are going to do an automation for this, if you are going to put a conveyor and move the material, with one man if you are going to move 10 tons of material, what will happen? Your cost per construction or cost per square feet, everything will come down. That is what we need to focus on if the per capita income has to go, so that that income can go to many people. For that, there are two mindsets that was needed in India. One is, in 1988, I'm again going back to the old thing because you guys should know, India went for computerization. In fact, principal talked to me about Y2K issues in that time. Because in 2000 years, 1991, 92 has come. Suddenly 2000, we thought all the computers will stop working. It will not work. India converted it into an opportunity. Today you are booking your railway tickets or bus tickets or everything by an app, right? With your mobile. Without your mobile, you cannot do anything. Okay, even you do not know your father or mother's number because you don't know their number, right? You forgot. We don't even remember the telephone number of the person. We have to look at only the mobile. And if you lost your mobile, that's it. You will always look for what to do. Reservations have been made as computerization. ATMs have come. The bank transactions become. Everybody thought that India will lose, all the people will lose the job and they'll come to the streets. But today, we don't go to the bank, but still the job goes. Enrichment of job or enhancement of the job is one of the key for the people. We cannot do the same mundane job what we have been doing earlier. We should progress for the higher value added activities. If you're doing a higher value added activities, you are going to get more per capita income. That is what in 2023 when the India at 0 is going to come, India at 100, the government is formulating many things. We have been doing a traditional automobile. Automobile gives particular income. They said we'll go into semiconductor industry. Highly value added, precision components we'll go. Space we should do. Defense we should export from here. So that India should not only become a center of excellence for manufacturing, but India should also export it to the other countries. And then the real per capita income of the people will go, the GDP will be better off. How do we take an example? What is your popular mobile phone today? Sorry? Okay, you have some brands and always your passionate brand will be one, but we may not be affordable to us, right? If affordability is not an issue, what phone you would all like to have? Huh? iPhone. Why iPhone? Brand. You know what is the manufacturing cost of iPhone? Currently the phone is sold at when it launched on the same day, the price will be around 1,30,000 or 1,40,000 for the, if it is good. But what is the cost of manufacturing of iPhone? Sorry? 25 is still high. Okay. Any bet? You guys got it. Okay. It's about 10 to 15,000. But you may think why they are doing it? Because they are investing that much on R&D, that they are investing that much on value engineering for the next 3 brands or 4 brands. The money that what you are paying is not for today's money. It is for 2030 launch or 2040 launch by them. Because you have to invest for what more we can bring in. By an eyeball something is opening. You have so much of protection, security, everything. So you are paying 1,40,000 whose manufacturing cost is 10,000, you know. Why do you pay? Why can't you boycott this? Why do you pay? Sorry? Demand is there only because you guys buy. If you don't buy, demand will come down. If you want to reduce the iPhone price, don't buy iPhone. What will happen after 2 years? Will you be able to do like that? Why? That's a human psychology, which is what the companies use to take the market. Okay? You have been mentally addicted that I want to use this brand, I want to use this. Even though I'm paying money for this, there is a value. If the moment you see a value in a product, you will buy for it. If you don't see value in the product, you go to a restaurant. Okay, Mysore is known for street foods. Yes, no? How many of, just tell me honestly, how many of you like the street foods, or how many of you want to go to the street foods? Oh, everybody. How many of you want to go to Radisson Blu or some premium restaurants and go and sit and have it? You may not go because you don't see the value in money for them. But tomorrow when you become a CEO of the company and when you want to have a business meeting and you want to go and sit there in a place where eating is not the priority, for discussion is the priority, what you will do? You can't go and stand in the street food with one of your US customers and eat it. You will eat it, but you don't have time to talk to him in a privacy. So you are paying money for the privacy at a restaurant and not for the... I'm sure that when all of you guys say like this, how many of you go to Cafe Coffee Day with your friend and have a coffee, even though it is 250 rupees? You know that it is available at 20 rupees at the outside, right? Why do you go and sit there in the Cafe Coffee Day with your friend? Same. So you understood this now. So when you wanted to create a customer a value proposition, the return what you are going to get is more, which is what the vision for India 2047. Okay? India should no longer be a producer of a component which is a mass component. India should not be in a technology, but India should bring innovation into the product. India should feel that the customer should value the product. Thereby, the return should be more, per capita income should be more. This is what India is looking at. This is what precisely US is doing. This is what precisely Europe was doing. This is what precisely Japan was doing. Unfortunately, there is everything which goes up has to come down. That's what karma says, right? And they don't youth today, and they have started getting it. China grabbed the opportunity of manufacturing at a low cost and exporting lot. Today, if China's import is stopped in US, US cannot function. You guys know, right? In India, if we say China, we don't want to get it because China is opposing us. They are coming and hitting in the road. You don't have any of I'm sure that 80% of the lights that is here, the switches that is here, it has come from where? I'm sure the principal knows. It will be from a Chinese brand. You get a cigarette lighter for 5 rupees. Okay, government has put a 20 rupees duty now to make it 25 rupees so that the matchbox industry is working. Question that patriotism, but think, when somebody can make a 5 rupees all the way from China to give it to you, what should be their manufacturing cost? 1 rupee. Transfer 1 rupee, 2 rupees. Distribution cost 1 more rupee. Profit 2 rupees. Yes? Think that innovation. Think that engineering. I think that is what is going to make the country better. We can't work on emotions. We should work on logic. So if India has to be in 2047, the government has decided on 4 or 5 areas of working for the goal. You all, how many of you know about Make in India? All of you heard about it from 2014, right? 2014, where were you? 9th standard, 10th standard? Huh? 4th standard, I'm sorry. Okay. See, that's why I said I'm old, my mathematics and doesn't work. Okay, 4th standard. The first time we heard from the Prime Minister of the country, zero defect with zero effect, he called in Make in India. Okay. We're all there in manufacturing industry for 30 years. Somebody put our biodata like this. Then we said zero defect we understand, no defect on this, but what is zero effect? He said zero effect to the environment, okay? Sustainability. If you don't produce a product without impacting the society, without withdrawing the groundwater, without polluting the groundwater, you should do that. The moment you are doing manufacturing with an effect to the environment, then you are not good. That means we all will enjoy, get the money, but when we hand it over the Mother Earth to you, you will be living in a polluted state. And when you give it to your children, what will happen? Good place to live in. So if you want to give generations of this country to the best place to live in, we should not only produce with zero defect, but also with the zero effect. This is what Atmanirbhar Bharat talks about. We should all work about not creating manufacturing as a base. Creating a sustainable manufacturing as a base is very, very important. Whatever you produce should not have an impact. It's a new thinking for us when he brought in. I don't know how many of you know, Venkaiah Naidu is one of our vice presidents who was there. Very, very amazing guy to speak. And you should listen to him. Anything on, if you listen to him, you will remember always. You don't need to worry about it. During the working with Niti Aayog, when Make in India was prepared, not Niti Aayog, before that planning commission, he was also a part of the mentor for industries to prepare this for the southern region of CIA, and I had an opportunity to work. So when this Make in India concept has come in 2014 after Swachh Bharat, so he coined it beautifully well. Missy Dizzy is the future of India, is what he said. We didn't understand everything, but when he started explaining, we understood the background behind. Missy Dizzy is MI, SI, CI and SI and CI, Missy Dizzy. He said MI is Make in India. If you want to make in India to grow, then only the per capita income will happen. Anything that you should reduce your imports or our balance of payments, in other terms, we should do more export than what we are importing. India was importing what? More oil, right? India was the largest exporter of oil. Second is gold. I don't know, somehow we are not satisfied with the amount of gold we have for jewelry and everything. We import a lot of golds. We don't know. Of course, electronics, and whichever is coming cheaper, we think that it is easy to import without looking at how to manufacture here. It's always pain, right? When Swiggy comes and delivers to you at your home, you don't need to take a pain of traveling and getting it back. But if you look at the calculation and find out 60 rupees you are paying for every delivery, then next day you will say that I will walk for 10 minutes and bring it back. If you are really worried about the 60 rupees. If you are not worried about 60 rupees, you don't care about it. Whether 60 rupees is worth or not, you have to decide. If you can add a value of 600 rupees in that time, then you will feel that I will pay somebody 60 rupees to get the food. But if you are sitting idle and you don't have anything to do, what you will do? So that's it. The same thing is the country progress. Then we said, hey, if you want to do Make in India strong, we have to add the value-added products to India. The second thing that needs to come is Skill India. That is what the MISI. What is Skill India? Doing the same thing with a perfection which is better than some other person, or trying to create a manufacturing system so that it is a sustainable, better, efficient in terms of cost, environmental impact, everything together. So Make in India, if you want to do, you need to do Skill India. Okay, Make in India and Skill India we do, but other countries are very, very ahead of us in terms of digitalization, in terms of Industry 4.0. So still, if you are going to produce with the manual system, my cost of manufacturing will be still, or reliability is not good. So we need to introduce Digital India. That is what DI. Okay, Missy DC. Then finally came a CI. We said, what is CI? He said, Clean India. We said, hey, what is Clean India is linking with manufacturing? Manufacturing has never been treated with clean, right? Manufacturing means dust, any industry. How many of you have visited a cement industry? If you go to cement industry, there were certain specific places in Tamil Nadu where this India Cements and all, when you cross the place, it will be full of smoke. And when after about 5 kilometers, it will go off because nobody bothered about the pollution. But today you go to cement industry, they are one of the cleanest industries that they are bringing in. Vikram Cements in India got the JIPM TPM award in 1996. A cement company got the JIPM award for the cleaning it up. So, Clean India is not just for producing, not just for making your money more. It is an attitudinal change that needs to happen. I can do it. Okay? If we can keep our home clean, if we can keep our surroundings clean, if we can keep our streets clean, if we keep our ward clean, if we can keep our city clean, and if we keep the country clean, imagine what can happen. Which was the Swachh Bharat initiative started in the year 2014. Mahatma Gandhi dreamt about it. Okay? Dream is very, very important for every one of you. If you want to go to US, if you want to go to Europe, somebody would have dreamt, either you or your parents. Dream is very important. Execution is more important then. You need somebody to come and push it and get it done. And today that is what is happening with the current Prime Minister saying that cleaning your campus. In fact, I still remember with principal, we started a program NLP and said 1S, 2S in the campus has to be very, very clean. Principal can tell me and agree with me. keeping this campus clean is very, very difficult. You have to keep the right dustbin at the place. You have to mark it. One has to. It's a long-drawn process. Within the campus, where there are set of rules and regulations, you are finding it extremely difficult to keep the premises clean. How many of you feel that your campus is the best, cleanest campus? How many of you feel that you have a lot of potential here where we can improve it further? Many. So, everywhere it is like this. If you go to, I can tell you the university which I went, Milwaukee, in Wisconsin, one of the beautiful campus. You don't see a dust anywhere. You don't, everywhere where the dustbin needs to be there, where the marking is there, where the visual control is there, everything used to be there. We'll dream, hey, why can't we have it here? We dream it and forget it and come back. After coming here, we don't take that to the end of making one small area like that, even within our home. I can tell you how many of your cupboards will be. The moment you open it up for the day, what you want, what comes in the top will be worn on the day. Not that I have to do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right or wrong? Why? You need to get a discipline for doing that. Everything that you want to do, you need a discipline to make the country. Today we are all appreciating about Japanese. Why? Japanese are disciplined. When the train has to come, okay, in India it used to be hours earlier. Now we are getting hours and minutes. And in Japan you go hours, minutes and seconds. It will say 4 hours, 30 minutes and 22 seconds the train will come. Okay, and 26 seconds it will leave. The discipline is very, very important for all these changes. So what we have achieved in 75 years, if India has to do it in next 25 years, there's a great opportunity available in youth. Today, India is 1.3 billion population, right? 1,130 crores. 1.4 crores now. Yeah, moving on. Every time we talk, something changes. India is going to become by 2041 1.6 or 160 crores will be the population. Till that time, India's population is going to be on a positive trajectory. After that, it will drop down. By 2075, India will again get back into 1.25 crores. This is what the prediction that's available. Because you all know that when your grandparents has 5 children or 6 children, your dad maybe 2 or 3, and the current generation, they want to have only 1. We do not know what will happen to the future. So 2041, people say, 2041, India will have 52% of the population in the working ranges of 20 to 45 years of age, which is going to be the peak. That is why India is first confident. Somebody asked me a question, how are we confident that India will achieve? India will have the major population so that we are going to get into 26 trillion economy. If India is going to grow at 8%, 9% growth like what we are doing today, you do an arithmetic, simple arithmetic of 8%, 9% growth, you will get into 26 trillion economy by 2047. If we are going to become 47, you know what is China? We are not going to cross China for sure. We don't want to compete with others, but if we are going to go into a 26 trillion economy, and if we are going to make sure that our per capita income moved from $800 to about 20,000 or $2,500 to $3,000, it's more than enough for us. We'll be happy because we don't look at that much of sophistication like the other countries, but we are always trained for a conservatism unless it's going to change. So the country is in a very, very positive mood for a youth is available. You have a great framework and value systems that's available. In India, as I said, 48% of the population is women, and now it's going up also. But at the end of the day, only 3 to 4% of the people were working. India wanted to become 30% of the people as a women to work by 2030. But in 2040, it will go to 40% because the older people who are not working will die, and the younger people who are going to come, everybody is going to work. By 2052 or 2047, India believes that 100% of the women will be working, okay, at least in the working age group. So, India was producing 3.8 trillion economy only with about 50% of the people working. Now, this proportion is going to increase, India is going to set. So, by 2040 to 47, you will see our growth will be much faster. And growth at 3.7 trillion, if you want to add 10%, it is only 3.7 million. Whereas, when we are going to be at 10, the value also has to come. The additional population that is going to add up will make us country better. So diversity will be there, equity will be there. The loss in the country is going to be available to make sure that everybody can play their game. Everybody will have their space and work. So these two are enough for us to do. If you have get a better field for you to play, and if there is an infrastructure that's available, is it enough? No, you also need proper systems and processes. That's why India, What was India's good in automobile company? Now India says automobile company will have, semiconductor industry we'll have on other side electronic and industries. We can go to toy industries and make toys. I'm sure that most of you in 2000, what is the toy that you liked more? Chinese toy or from India? Most of the toys that you would have had is from China. So India is going to make, that industry is going to grow. So India is going to open up multifaceted area and started going the various industries. Defense, India used to import 70% of our defense requirement, including shirts, shoes, everything. Today, India, by making that 2026, 50% of our procurement from local, and 2035, India will procure everything here, and India will start exporting. In fact, what we have been importing earlier, now we are making it in India, and I'm exporting more for my defense business. So there's a huge opportunity that's available for you to sell it to the third countries. I'm sure that France is going to import military from us, US is going to import, African countries are going to improve, Middle East is going to improve, so our growth is going to be there. So if we see India's growth is available from service sector will continue to be there, manufacturing sector is going to grow, and agriculture is going to excel. I think all the three things are going to happen in the next 25 years, which is why the leaders are confident, the policy makers are confident. And someone asked you the question, the government is continuing to work on policies to make sure that how it is can be friendly. You will ask, sir, what is friendly, sir? If you want to really make this happen, not the traditional manufacturers, not the traditional companies need to work, a lot of startups has to come. And you know, India is the second largest startup now, and many unicorns are coming and everybody is going. The only thing is we need to adhere to the set of rules and regulations and make sure that in our aspirations to grow, we should not violate the traffic laws. Every signal when you cross this, when there is a red signal, you stop it. But some point in time you file the day, there's nobody else, why should I stop? I can just cross the road. But without your realization, somebody else will come, assuming that they're green, they will come at a high speed. So regulations and discipline is going to be again very, very important for the country to grow. Growing, there is a great opportunity available, but discipline is going to be very, very important. So government is going to work it out on the policies to make sure that how these policies are available for taking you forward. So you have a diversity that's going to come. You have a great opportunity available. You have a policy framework available. Is that enough? No. There's one more very, very important thing which is there. It's called sustainability. You have inherited this mother planet from our ancestors, and you know the climate change, what is happening and everything. If you're going to allow more and more manufacturing, if you're going to allow more and more air conditioning usage, if you're going to use more and more fuels and burn it and make the carbon dioxide more, our future generation is not going to live in a place which is better than today. And we are going to inherit from them, and then we are going to spend it today. It is like we are taking their life and then we are enjoying the life, and they are going to be in a very, very bad shape. So 2030, India is going to be 50% of our power requirement is going to be renewable power. A country like India, it is extremely challenging. India is a growing country. We thought it will be very, very expensive. Even France, US has not done this, but India has set up a target, and India is on target. In fact, in our company here in Mysore, 80% of the power comes from renewable power. Okay? And what was considered as a renewable power investment very, very expensive earlier, today I can tell you, it saves you money. Your campus is completely with renewable power. We worked on this project. Today, investing on a renewable power is going to be cheaper. You're going to reduce your cost down. So India is going to be self-contained in terms of renewable power by 2030, 50%. And by 2047, you know, most of us are working with a target called Destination Zero. India's Destination Zero is in 2047, when India is going to be at 100, where we are saying by 2047, India will be a carbon positive country and no more a carbon emitting country. Which means the carbon dioxide that you need to come out from this will go down. You know, India is working extremely aggressive on hydrogen fuel. Hydrogen fuel is just going to be used with just water outside. You are not going to pollute anything. So India is working on hydrogen fuel cell in terms of disruption in technology. India is working with LNG. They're all improvement from diesel. You go to LNG, you go to CNG. All are intermittent, but ultimately at the end of the day, whether it is between battery is better or LNG is better, we do not know. Automobile as a company is going for this. Similarly, every industry is working for their sustainability in terms of making us water positive, in terms of making carbon positive, in terms of making circular economy. In terms of making circular economy and sustainability, I'm sure that most of you would have read, your output or your wastage should be an input for somebody else. And you make sure that your materials is produced either closer to the customer or closer to this, so that you don't waste on your transportation time. Today, India spends about people say about 13%, but 8% is the logistics transportation we do. India is a huge country, but can it be made as a modules to make sure that India's logistics costs come down to 4%? Can we use more of our seaways? Because India is surrounded on all the three sides by seas. Can we use it by sea so that further we bring down the things? All these initiatives are happening at various points of time while we are improving our infrastructure, while we are improving our this, how much we are going to be green. So with these things of getting diversity on one side, with government policies and bringing different types of industries and making sure that Atmanirbhar Bharat or the Vision 20 is going to come, agriculture is going to continue to produce. We are working on innovation technology there by reducing the water consumption per hectare of agriculture produce that you produce and making sure that we produce it from the organic and reduce the impact of the, again, manure, which is going to impact the soil for the future generation. So if you start working on a zero defect with zero effect on impacting to the sustainability, utilizing the diversity to the best and equity, India is set to grow. I think that is what the Vision 2047 or Viksit Bharath of 2047, when we are going to become 100 years of Indian independence, India will become second largest economy is what has been told. I'm not worried about it's the second largest economy or third largest economy. India never said that we'll beat China. India said we'll become a 30 trillion economy. I think that's enough for us. Rather than comparing with others, rather than looking at others, we should look at what is our internal strength, how we can make this as the best place to work. With these things getting up in India, so you ask a question, why we should stay in India, why not be outside? Okay, today is best to, we used to say earlier, earn in dollars and spend in rupees is what the best, is what we have been telling long back for the people. Should live it in this country, enjoy the freedom, politically, socially, economically, we can do that. At the same time, earn in dollars. But the days is going to come that people will say that yes, you should earn in rupees and spend in dollars. I think that's the day to come. But hopefully by 2047, is it going to be a vision? But I can tell you whether it is going to happen in 2047 or something we do not know. You guys are going to live at that point of time. Maybe send a message to us when we are there outside. But definitely make sure that when it is going to become the question, whether it is India is going to grow to that level is not at all a question. That's the confidence level that we have today. So for achieving this, there are 2 or 3 things which is very, very important for you. I wanted to tell you. India has a great culture. India has a great value systems, what we inherited from our ancestors, and that is why we are here today. We didn't learn anything new. 1,000 years before what Cholas did it or Vijayanagara emperors did it. If you do that, it's more than enough. Nobody knew about the astrophysics much better than our ancestors, right? There are many things that Indian scientists, many people are even amazed to see that how India has found out these 1,000 years before. That's the level of our capability or intelligence at a low cost. But what we need to do is, whatever we got from the inherited from the culture, we should not completely become westernized and change it. We should have a discipline is very, very important for us. We need to continue to be this discipline, what our ancestors has or future. When I say discipline, it is not that you need to stand up with somebody is coming in, giving the respect for others and making sure that everything has a time and everything in its time. Everything has a place and everything in its place. Okay, and everything has a timeline, you adhere to the timeline. This is very, very important for the discipline. This needs to happen. If you need to grow, your organization needs to grow, your country has to grow. Dedication to anything, whatever you do. Today, there are many, many opportunities available for people going outside, but still, there are a lot of people who are passionate to go into ISRO 20 years before who could launch the Chandrayaan or anything today. Imagine if they also went to NASA, what would have happened? So, there are passionate people who wanted to give it. The dedication, what you give it for your country, what you are giving it for Mother Earth is very, very important for us. Continue to have the dedication. Your dedication need not be, it has to be your house, it is your home, it's your street, it's a place where you lived, it's a place where you studied, it's a place of the country what you have. Keep the dedication in all the things what you do. When you have a discipline and dedication with you, keep a determination that I will achieve this. Every one of you should have a vision, the vision and dream. The dream could be what you have or you inherited from your parents. I don't want to go into that, whether you have to satisfy your parents' dream, who could not achieve that, that's why they are dumping it onto you. That's a $1 million question. Even me and my daughter used to have this argument a lot. Appa, what you could not do, you're asking me to do that now is what she will say. Of course, I say yes. What we could not do, we expect the next generation to do. But have a determination what you want to do. Keep these things. This is all okay from our value systems, from the soft skills. But in terms of the others, there are 3 important things, whichever the organization you go and work for, whichever the place that you work, or even if you start an industry, what is very, very important if you want to be successful in your business, whether it is for a software industries, whether it is for startups or it's for manufacturing company, the first and foremost is you have to focus on your customer. If you understand your customer needs, Apple has clearly understood what the customer needs. That's why they're able to sell a 10,000 rupees product or 1,50,000 rupees. So please focus on your customer. If you understand your customers well, you are going to be sure success. The first and foremost thing. Second is focus on innovation. The same way what you have been doing earlier, today you cannot do. What was accepted earlier is not accepted today. Even in your campus, 5 years before, your professors would have given you a better mark, but today they will say, no, you need to do more. Because when you start expecting more and more from you, you will perform. Okay, the demanding professors or the demanding managers are the one who brings the best of the person, or the demanding coach. So it will continue to be there. Focus on innovation. The same way what you have been doing earlier is no more good. So you need to do innovations. Innovations in terms of people, product, process, disruption, technology. You call it by anything, but you have to continue to improve, reduce the cost. Continue to improve, reduce the lead time. Continue to improve, make sure that the customer feels value into it. Third and most important, you can bring in any technology, you can bring in any customer, you can export anything. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the success for this campus, if somebody says Vidyavardhaka has moved from 150 rank to 100 rank, 100 rank to 50 rank, 50 rank to 18th rank, it is moving up in the ladder, who is responsible for this? The people, right? It's because of all of you. Like that, a country to grow, people is important. You have to start respecting the people, not just because of their age or something, just because he's a person, not because he's knowledgeable, not because of his money, having power or something. He may be a supervisor, he may be a security in your company, who may be a managing director of the company, but respecting the people, giving everybody a space for them to work, including within your family members, which is very, very key. If we start adapting these three in the business and our personal life, focusing on customer, focusing on innovation, and focusing on people, I think that is where your organization can become a world-class. If every of your college becomes world-class, like an IIT, why we should go to IIT? Vidyavardhaka itself can become an IIT. Every of your company has to become world-class. How can you do that? It is only the people who are there who can transform that college, but not in 1 year it is possible. It will spread over a period of 10 years. A consistent and persistent focus on that will make the organization. That's why you always have a vision, mission, and start working on it. And focusing on people, which will make your organization good. Coming back into this, all these things will make this country's ABC very, very strong. ABC is the first 3 sets of language. More than your mother tongue, you would all learn ABC in the schools, right? In your kindergarten. What is it ABC talks about? What's ABC? Apple. So, good. So always coming back to Apple, right? Okay, but this ABC for the country is an attitude, a positive attitude to make sure that the country is always first. Country first, company next is what we say. Country first, people next. So keep the country. That attitude, you should always keep it. Make sure that we have a positive attitude, work for this country, contribute for this country to make this country a great country to live in. Create a collective behavior, not only you, people around you, your friends, people who work for you, who is next to you, in your streets. If every one of you to make that, the same positive attitude we should build in a behavior to the society to make sure that how we can make this society to behave in such a way that we'll always make this country first, then the company next is what we used to say. Okay, you have an attitude, you have a behavior, but you're going to be a CEO of the company. Make sure that everybody in your company follows this as a culture that becomes a C. Create a culture in this country to make sure that people always work for this country, always make sure that proud of this country to live in, and make sure that our future generation get the best place to live in growth. And let's take the vow at this point of time that India at 100 is going to be a great place for you to live in. One of the best place to, India is going to be the best country to live in. It's going to give a great opportunity for you. It's going to give a great potential for you. How well you use it positively will make this country proud. Jai Hind. Thank you very much. We have another 20 minutes for you to ask question and answers. Go ahead. So, the 3 points that you have noted down, has it been answered? Got it? Okay. Now, over to you for question and answers.
Sir, let me begin the question. So, lot of students go abroad for higher education, even though they know that there are very good institutes within India. What is that government should do in that direction so that they can mitigate the brain drain and also the money that is going out of the country?
Let me want to clarify. I'm not against somebody to go. Okay? If you cannot satisfy your customer within this country, okay? Everywhere is a demand supply, somebody said, the same way. The institutions has to upgrade themselves to ensure that they can give a better education than what is there available in US. If they can give a better model, better salary structures of placements, everything is going to be there. Why people should go out of the country? So I feel that it is more responsibility of the institutions and the campuses to create such an environment rather than students. At the end of the day, let me tell you, I also want to be very clear. If I get a product of the same value at a lower cost from China, honestly tell me what you will do or what I will do. I'll go and buy it from China. Let me tell you. If something is available of a same quality and we can't say emotionally saying that, oh, it is from my country, so I should spend 100 rupees more for this product. Nobody will do that. You have to compete with that country and make an innovation to see that it is best. So it's applicable for academic institutions also. We should continue to create our academic institutions much, much better in terms of, for that, more industry institution interaction is there. We need to identify what are the gaps today. What's happening in US colleges? I'm sure that you will be talking to your seniors. What is happening there? The classroom session is very, very minimal. The amount of interaction session, the project sessions is much higher. They are allowing you to go and explore by yourself rather than in a controlled environment. I think that is what needs to happen. For that, I can tell you, I have a plant in China. We are buying a machine from US for about 10 crores. Every machine costs 10 crores for a gear cutting. In India, I am trying for the last 10 years to make it by an Indian manufacturer. We could not do. I told the same thing to my Chinese plant. There's a local, here, the DC. There is a person in every state there. And he came and asked, what is it you want? I want. The government has released a fund of 7 crores, okay, to a local institution and tell them that they wanted to indigenize this machine, go and work with that company and get it. They did it in 1.5 years. And they made the machine at 2.2 crores. Okay. Tell me, my Chinese plant should buy it from the China or from US, continue to get it. We are also importing, okay, to be honest with you. That's what will happen. So that can come when an academic knowledge joins with an application knowledge, that is the industry institute interaction, and start happening. More and more should happen. I think that is what I believe in Vision 100 the government is doing. Why the government is asking somebody from the industry to come and give it? First and foremost is giving a confidence to you that it is possible. Impossible is what the word, right? How many of you believe in impossible? I believe in impossible. You don't believe? Because impossible itself says. So everything is possible, but you have to do the right connect between the industry, institute or research institution to make it happen. It will happen. I think the predictions today is by 2034 the reverse polarization is going to happen and we are going to see more and more students coming from abroad to India for studies. You know already it is happening in medical tourism, right? More and more people are coming to India for treatments from US, for Singapore or any other country. Not only from the countries like Africa and all, but even from people from developed countries, from US people are coming to India. Why? One is availability. If you want to do a knee replacement in US, you have to wait for 3 years. You can't get a doctor appointment. So availability is one, second is cost. So it will happen for sure. India will become the center of excellence for education also.
So, what do you say about unemployment nowadays?
What do you mean by unemployment? For every question, first we need to understand the glossary and what it contains. What is unemployment?
Person who is not employed.
Person who is not employed because of what?
Lack of skill or
Lack of?
skill or
Let me tell you again today, jobs are available in plenty. Okay? You don't choose the job because you feel it is an inferior to you or it doesn't compensate with your qualification of requirement. If you come to in front of our office at every day, the shop floor production in every manufacturing industries, we are losing about 7 to 8% every day because of want of people. We don't have engineers for the design. Principal was saying that the core companies are not able to identify a right mechanical engineer who can do the design calculation. So you have to improve your skill. If somebody is in unemployment, don't mistake me, or it should not be taken in the wrong sense. I believe that it is because of attitude. Only 3% of people or 4% of people are not able to get a job. What does it mean? When 97% can achieve it, why only 3 to 4% are not achieving it? Or they are not finding a right connect. Somebody has put them under pressure to go and study this course, which they don't like it. If you are going to be in a passionate area, unemployment is not a job. Please start your own factory.
Sir, but they say technology is replacing people.
I told you in 1998, when banks have started computerization, I just want to tell you one more thing. In 90s, for those of the people, or you can talk to your professors, if you want to go and get a ticket from here to Delhi and come back, you have to go to railway station, fill in the form and give it to them. They will book your onward ticket, but for return ticket, they don't have a computer at that point in time. They will send it to Delhi in the train every day night, and then the people there will say that, okay, I have a ticket, and then you will get it after 2 days. For your return ticket confirmation, you have to wait for 3 days. That was the time. But today what happened? Technology. Jobs have gone. All the railway reservation people are still sitting, or they are doing a value-added job. Anything that you are doing again and again and again, it should be automated. You should do innovation. I think that is when the country will progress. 20 years before, you know how salaries were given to people? On the day of salary day, 4 securities and 2 staffs will go to the bank and collect the cash in different denomination. 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, 10 rupees and all. 20 people will sit in a round table and they will collect. His salary is 14,400 rupees. So they will take 10,000 rupees and put it in a cover and give it. This used to be the productivity. Today at one click, the digital transaction takes place. So don't worry about it. Anything that is improving will not reduce your job. It will only enhance the job. But you should be prepared for continuing upgrading your skills to take up the higher jobs. Artificial intelligence is going to come. How many of you believe that you have no future? What do you think? Artificial intelligence is going to come, right? A PowerPoint presentation can be made. I can talk over 10 minutes and first set of presentation will come. It's already coming. You think that my secretary's job will be out? They will become like, one day, earlier, industrial relation manager was there. He has become human relation manager. The human relation become like talent management. So you will upgrade your skills to the next level when regular jobs are going to get automated. Don't worry about it. It's not going to remove any of your job. In fact, you have to upgrade you to the next level. We used to have I don't think today in engineering, you had an engineering drawing course, they've been removed now. It is there? It is one of the worst things okay, I can't draw anything, okay? Getting out of the course in my MSc, I did, unfortunately I couldn't join a BE. I went there as an MSc engineering. The drawing board standing and then drawing is one of the painful projects. I don't know how I passed the subject, that's why keep it aside. Today everything has come in there's nothing called mistake. You can do that and if you want you can change it. Erasing it and then again redrawing, you don't know the pain of it, right? So don't worry about it. It will all improve your productivity. It will all improve your ability to do that. So if somebody is threatening you that artificial intelligence is going to come, all of you are going to sit together, it is like productivity of agriculture is going to go up, then you will have excess food and the prices will come down. It will not happen. It will continue to, India will continue to produce more and people will eat more also. If we can find a job for somebody to bring the food from the hotel to you, or something more is available today, right? I can tell them, hey, these 2 books are available with my friends and bring that. What is it called? The app? We are telling that. Somebody is going there and bringing it back. So for everything we are creating a job. So don't worry about it. We have enough job. We don't have people. The thing is, we should create a job which are value-added job. Otherwise, your per capita income will not go up. So we should not do mundane job. We should do a value-added job so that our earnings is better. That is what the country is concerned today. If you ask me my concern as a CEO, my concern is my people are not doing value-added job. My people are doing so I'm able to pay only 15,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees to them as a worker, blue-collar person. How can I pay 1 lakh rupee to them? That's the concern. Super. If you don't have any other questions, thank you very much for the opportunity. Good interacting with you. And have a great years ahead. Okay. By doing the better education, make sure that your parents are happy. Make sure the institution where you studied, right from your preschool to this, they are happy, and let's make this country proud. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Thank you.
Finally, we have come to draw the curtains for this event. Gratitude is this quality similar to electricity. It must be produced and discharged and used to order to exist in all. On behalf of this event, I thank our chief guest of today's function, Dr. Muthukumar sir. On behalf of VVCE Mysuru, I extend my sincere thanks to sir. I also thank our beloved principal, Dr. B. Sadashivekauda, for his gracious presence. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank Dr. Rashmi S., Head Placement Department. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also thank Professor Karthik, our Chief NSS Coordinator, for his gracious presence. Thank you so much, sir. I thank all the students for your active participation from the various branches. Thank you all. Thanks a lot. Nature is the future. Preserve it. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Signing off. Bye-bye.